Hello, I'm here to share with you an alarming trend in antibiotic prescribing. Irresponsible antibiotic prescription is a global health threat, but there are ways we can combat this danger. The coronavirus pandemic has made us all painfully aware of the growing threat of pathogens, both bacterial and viral, and the rising incidence of treatment resistance. This is an issue identified by the World Health Organization, WHO, as a chief global security threat. They point to antibiotic overprescription as the leading catalyst for increasingly resistant pathogens. The overprescribing and misuse of antibiotics has led to bacterial and viral mutations that results in antibiotic resistance. This leads to a rising threat of further epidemics and superinfections that our current antibiotics are ineffective against. More than 2.8 million antibiotic-resistant infections occur in the U.S., causing 35,000 deaths annually, according to the CDC. Without action, we will be helpless, threatened by superpathogens that are increasingly resistant to treatment. The most effective way we can prevent this is policy change that mandates education on antibiotic stewardship, thereby slowing antibiotic resistance. Historically, it can be seen how legislation and policy change related to prescriptive habits improve patient outcomes. For example, legislation during the opioid epidemic enforcing mandatory education and regulation regarding the prescription of opioids led to a decrease in inappropriate prescription of opioids and therefore fewer opioid-related deaths. West Virginia saw a 20% decrease in deaths associated with prescription opioids related to these policy changes. Implementing similar legislation regulating the prescribing of antibiotics may see similar benefits such as improved patient outcomes, money savings, and decreased antibiotic resistance. The policy would mandate annual education on proper antibiotic stewardship for healthcare providers. The WHO has designed a global action plan to combat the rising incidence of antibiotic, which we may model after. Education on these topics would bring about further awareness that would prepare prescribers to be better stewards of antibiotics, a crucial step to prevent growing antibiotic resistance. COVID-19 highlights the gravity of a pandemic in which traditional therapies are ineffective. Continuing to tolerate inappropriate antibiotic use all but guarantees we will continue to be accosted by powerful pathogens. However, if we implement policy to promote antibiotic stewardship, the threat of superinfections can be lessened. Therefore, policy mandating education regarding antibiotic stewardship as a part of continuing education is necessary. As clinicians, we have a duty to be good stewards of medications. The topic of proper antimicrobial stewardship must be recognized as a topic of top priority, with antibiotic resistance becoming a global health threat.